Explore the vast White Sands National Park. Take a road trip to the north end of the Chihuahuan Desert in the breathtaking and adventure-filled Tularosa Basin. Like a mirage, dazzling white sand dunes shimmer with the stunning backdrop of the Andres Mountains, showing off Andres Peak, Gardner Peak, and Blacktop Mountain. A land of extremes, visit White Sands National Park. The name says it all. This is New Mexico's only national park. Found southwest of Alamogordo, most of the 275 square miles of glistening flecks of the white sand dune fields are within the park's jurisdiction. The sand is white because it is 99% pure gypsum, not really sand. This is the world's largest dune field and includes 4 different types of sand dunes. Most visitors drive the 8-mile dune drive, passing through the spectacular dunes graced with soap tree yuccas, several pullouts, 4 trails, and picnic areas. Buy a sled or bring your own sleds. Slide down the dunes and drudge back to the top ridge to repeat the fun. Rangers plow the park roads to keep them clear of sand, just as if it were snow. Here are the sand plow trucks. Whether you're planning a road trip, a nature getaway, or just exploring new places from the comfort of your screen, this video is packed with insider tips to help make the most of your visit. Travel across America with me. Welcome to this breathtaking tour of White Sands National Park, one of the most unique natural wonders in the United States. If you're a backroad explorer, nature lover, or a vacationer seeking off the beaten path destinations, this video is for you. Join us as we take you through the stunning white gypsum sand dunes, rich history, and fascinating geological features of the White Sands National Park. Let's start at the Visitor Center. The Visitor Center building complex at White Sands National Monument is an excellent example of Spanish Pueblo adobe, also known as Pueblo Revival architecture, and it was constructed during the years of the Great Depression. Construction was begun in 1936 and completed by 1938 at a cost of $31,600. The construction of the walls of the Visitor Center is of adobe mud bricks throughout. Adobe bricks are usually 16 inches long, 10 inches wide, and 4 inches thick. Ordinarily, 2 men can mix and mold over 100 bricks in a day, sufficient to build about 1 foot of wall. In 1990, the Visitor Center and adjacent 7 buildings, also built between 1936 and 1940, were officially designated as the White Sands National Monument Historic District. Lyle Bennett, the principal architect for the White Sands Visitor Center, began doing architectural work for the National Park Service in the 1930s. He became a master of the Pueblo Revival style, as demonstrated here at White Sands. He also designed the Painted Desert Inn at Petrified Forest National Park, another really great stop, and buildings at Carlsbad Caverns and Mesa Verde National Parks. Bennett's design of the picnic table shelters at White Sands reflects his preference for modern architectural style of Frank Lloyd Wright. Frank Lloyd Wright, how exciting! He's my favorite modern American architect. Besides asking rangers or volunteers any particular questions that you might have, ask about the Junior Ranger program for any young ones in your group, and be sure to stamp your passport book. Once you leave the Visitor Center parking lot, turn right, where you will reach the entrance station to pay the fee or show your National Park Pass, which I highly recommend. Not only is this exceedingly economical for those planning to visit several national parks during a 12-month period, but it helps support our national park system. I do need to tell you that there is not a charge at many of the monuments. Typically, fees are charged at national park units. Now ride with me along Dunes Drive into the heart of the dunes. We will make every stop and show you around. White Sands National Park preserves more than half of this oasis of gypsum dunes, its shallow water supply, and protects the plants and animals that call it home. Oh yeah, at the end of this video, I will tell you critical information about potential park closures that might delay your plans. This is a relatively small park. The main park road leads to the campsites and trails. A wide variety of visitors can enjoy this park. Those who don't want to take on the challenge of trudging the sand and preferring a more relaxed visit, the Dunes Drive provides stunning scenic views, perfect for those seeking photo opportunities. There is an easy boardwalk trail, and for those who want to hike, there are several grand grand options. Then there's the sledders. As far as sledding, you can bring your own or get one at the gift shop. The gypsum dunes are firmer and cooler than other types of dunes. So no matter your endurance level, White Sands National Park will thrill you and you will be glad you took the turn. Later in this video, I will be providing some thoughtful safety tips for visiting a desert park. I will also be taking you to each stop along the park road and to each great pull-off and trail. During our recent visit, a couple areas were blocked off, but fortunately, this was not our first visit to the camera-ready park. Every way you face, turn your head, and look, there is another great photograph to be taken. The weather the day we visited was about as perfect as it could get. This is like no other place on earth. The first stop is the 1,200-foot-long Playa Trail. This barren, dry lake bed changes from brown to white, and it might be filled with water or it could be growing crystals. This half-mile round-trip trail can take up to 30 minutes. Our second stop is the Dune Life Nature Trail, a 1-mile trail located basically across the road from Stop 1. This 1-mile loop trail winds through the edge of the White Sands, where dune life is most abundant. Watch for tracks left by desert animals as they hunt for food among the dunes. 2 steep climbs will be encountered on this walk in the shifting sand of the dunes. Summer temperatures can exceed 100 degrees. Take water and wear sunscreen. Did you lock your car? This 1-mile loop trail is clearly marked by trail markers. Always depend on trail markers and not your footprints, as those can disappear quickly. This trail is designed for observation and not playing in the sand. Our third stop is the Interdune Boardwalk. but it's closed. Let me show you this trail from a previous visit to the park. As you continue to travel, the pavement ends and you will pass the Sunset Stroll meeting area. During 3 of our 5 visits to the monument, oh wait, that's a national park, except for many of our visits were when it was a monument. But anyway, we visited at sunset. The park offers free ranger-led sunset nature walks, because this national park presents some of the best sunsets to be experienced anywhere. We have never taken the ranger-led walk. We have chosen to do our own thing. It's totally up to you. Our next stop, which is stop 4, was at the 2-mile-long Backcountry Camping Loop Trail, because we wanted to just peek around because we were planning to hike a big portion of the Alkali Flat Trail. So we cut our stop short at the Backcountry Camping Loop Trail. Remember, here there is no shade, no water, and no toilet. Go prepared. As stated by the name, this is an area of backcountry camping. Camping there will provide a fabulous opportunity to experience the captivating night sky that only White Sands National Park will provide. Personally, we aren't campers. We have an RV and typically stay at local RV parks. Many of the national parks cannot accommodate our size rig nor have great hookups. But for those of you much more rugged than I am, I know that you will be greatly rewarded by camping out. By the way, have you subscribed yet? If not, and you enjoy learning about great geographic and historic sites across our wonderful country, please subscribe. Now on to our next stop. It's the highlight of this particular visit. We will be taking the 5-mile Alkali Flat Trail, found at a large parking lot at the end of the 8-mile Dune Trail. It's not really an end because it's a teardrop because it loops back around. The sign warns, the trail is not flat. You will be hiking hard up and down dunes the entire way. Wind, temperatures, and lack of humidity can make Alkali Flat Trail even more difficult. At times, you might be the only hiker on the trail. Go only if you are prepared. On our hike, there were plenty of other hikers, a couple of rangers doing research, sledders, and of course us. We did take water and a couple of granola bars. And if you would like to buy us a granola bar or some fuel for our adventures, and if you enjoy these videos, our Cash App is on the screen and in the description below. Back on the Alkali Trail for some amazing dune scenery and photography. Also, on the sign at the beginning of the trail, there was a warning to not touch any strange objects because sometimes military planes drop dangerous objects on our dunes. What? You also may not hike this trail at night. Additionally, some days, military tests nearby disrupt satellite signals for hours. Pay attention and always head toward the next trail marker. It's not scary or hard to do. It's okay, really. Typically, 1 or more markers can be seen from any place along the trail. While walking through the dunes, keep your eyes peeled for the mysterious creatures that inhabit this desert-like environment, including lizards, coyote tracks, and even desert bighorn sheep. Plants that you will see include sand verbena, soap tree yuccas, and skunk bush sumac. I think the soap tree yuccas make such photogenic models. This national park is famous for its vast, otherworldly landscape of glimmering white dunes as they stretch for miles and miles across the Tularosa Basin. With its stark beauty, it's no wonder why this park has become a top destination for both nature enthusiasts and vacationers seeking a peaceful escape into nature. Did you know that the stunning white sand dunes you see in this park are made up of gypsum crystals? Unlike most sand dunes that are formed from quartz, the gypsum in white sands creates a pristine, brilliant white landscape that's unlike anywhere else on Earth. The gypsum that makes up the white sands starts out as a clear, translucent sand grain. As the wind bounces the sand grains along the ground, they collide and scratch each other. The scratches change the way the light reflects off the grains, making the sand appear white. There are picnic areas several places along Dunes Drive for those of you who have filled your ice chest or picnic basket. We made a final stop at the West filming area. The parking area is closed off, but foot traffic is allowed. This area was pretty much deserted, so I had fun trying to write a note to you, my viewers, in the sand dune walls. It wasn't as easy as you think, but it was lots of fun. I took so many pictures and videos of Dunes Drive. I hope that you were enthralled in thinking about planning a trip there for yourself. There's so much to do in this region. I still have so much to tell you, so hang on. One thing I still have not been able to do is catch one of the seasonal, once-a-month ranger-led tours to Lake Lucero. The 10-square-mile Lake Lucero, which is usually a dry lake bed, is comprised of gypsum-laden water with selenite crystals forming the muddy shoreline. We missed this one, going 1 week too late. What a bummer. We first went to this park in 2008 when it was a national monument. In December of 2019, President Donald J. Trump signed into law the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2020, which included provision that redesignated White Sands National Monument as White Sands National Park, making it the 62nd designated national park in the national park system. The park's redesignation recognizes the added significance of the park for its natural and cultural resources. The picturesque sand dunes draw us back over and over again. We've spent a lot of time over the years in New Mexico. The state has so much to offer outdoorsmen, park enthusiasts, backroad explorers, and those seeking great historical landmarks from the cowboy and Indian days. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I wanted to warn you about potential park closures affecting your visit to this national park unit. White Sands Missile Range surrounds the park. For public safety, the park and US 70 between the park and Las Cruces may be closed during missile range tests. Closures average twice a week for 1 to 2 hours. The Department of Defense and National Park Service appreciate your cooperation and patience. White Sands Missile Range. Our next-door neighbor has an historic past and an impressive mission for today's security. The bombing of Pearl Harbor during World War II took place on December 7, 1941. This caused the United States government to respond. P.S. I might be going to Pearl Harbor really soon. The U.S. military established a permanent presence in the Tularosa Basin during World War II, creating White Sands Proving Grounds, which is now called White Sands Missile Range, as well as the Alamogordo Bombing and Gunnery Range, known today as Holloman Air Force Base. The park is 15 miles southwest of Alamogordo, which was established in 1898. A warning sign is just on the edge of town, giving you fair warning to find something else to do for a while because the highway leading to the park is closed. The park is 54 miles east of Las Cruces, which is also filled with some interesting sights. One of my favorite places is nearby La Mesilla. I will be doing an informative video on La Mesilla in the near future. And by the way, Highway 70 was completed in 1928. How did you get between Alamogordo and Las Cruces back then? Probably a really rough road. Speaking of safety, let me provide some helpful safety information for your upcoming visit to White Sands National Park. If you are an armchair traveler, you can grab a glass of iced tea and quietly listen. Most importantly, before you go, be sure to check the weather conditions and pack accordingly. The hot summers and chilly winters at White Sands mean it's important to plan your trip at the right time. Here are a few tips. Drink plenty of water. The Park Service recommends 1 gallon per person per day. Rest often. Heat stroke can happen fast. Know where your tracks are? Well, no. Wind can erase your tracks. And GPS can be unreliable. Use the trail markers, a compass, and landmarks. And never hike alone. Be prepared. Sand reflects the sunlight. Wear a hat, sunglasses, and sunscreen, even in the winter. Don't be digging around. The sand can collapse, and beware of lightning during lightning storms. And prepare for emergencies, and know what time the sun sets and the weather forecast. The park offers a wide range of programs and activities, including guided walks and full moon hikes. We have found that traveling in the Tularosa Basin as backroad enthusiasts is refreshing, challenging, rewarding, and a true delight. I want to draw your attention to my recent videos on the absolutely phenomenal Three Rivers Petroglyph site, the Valley of Fires Recreation Area, and the endearing Smoky Bear Historical Park. The links to all of these videos are in the description below, and my National and State Parks playlist is a great place to hang out. The link is in the pinned comment. Tell me in the comments, what was your favorite part of this video? Flip-flops on the ground and ugly shoes on the ground? I had to switch a couple times depending on the sand. Unclassic Road Trip One more important piece of information about the park: it closes 30 minutes after sunset. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content on exploring America's most beautiful and unique parks. We'll take you to explore more hidden gems across the U.S., perfect for backroad explorers and anyone passionate about discovering natural wonders.